two migrants reportedly arrested in New York City. As part of that major bust on Wednesday, the men are said to have ties to TDA, the violent Venezuelan gang, and the two are reported to be part of a group accused of threatening tenants at an apartment in Aurora, Colorado. Meanwhile, in Chicago, city officials warning its police officers to be careful when encountering suspected TDA members. Congressman Nick Langworthy on his take on the migrant crisis earlier this morning. Watch.
It is just a continuation of what we've seen time and again, with the migrant crisis finding its way right onto New York City's doorstep, and it's our sanctuary city policies of Kathy Hochul to blame. We have now we have a new series of questions: is how did they end up in New York? Was this part of the failed Biden-Harris agenda?
We have team coverage. Mike Tobin standing by in Chicago with details on that warning. But first, CB Cotton is live in Manhattan with more on the major drug bust. CB?
Hi, Griff. Well, the two reported Tren de Aragua members were taken into custody as part of a major drug trafficking and credit card scam bust here in New York City, per the New York Post, which says Denier Aramillo Menendez and Edilson Pena Angulo were two of 15 suspected Venezuelan gang members picked up during an early morning raid on Wednesday, following a months-long investigation. The Post sharing this photo of the semi-automatic weapons, pistols, and ammo also found. Both Menendez and Angulo had active warrants in Aurora, Colorado on felony charges of first-degree burglary and menacing with a firearm for another incident, showing them and other men breaking into an Aurora apartment about 10 minutes before a fatal shooting. A local report says the men knocked on two apartments there and threatened residents. Aurora police said at the time the men had not been linked to any criminal gang, but the New York Post is now reporting from its sources that Angulo and Menendez not only somehow made their way here to New York City all the way from Colorado, but also the outlet says both men are TDA members who were involved in credit card fraud, violence, and selling heroin and fake weed here in New York City. Griff.
All right, CB Cotton live in New York. Thank you very much. Now, for the latest on the warning from Chicago police on Tren de Aragua, let's bring in senior correspondent Mike Tobin, who's live in Chicago with that part of this story. Mike, what are you seeing?
Well, Griff, what we've got is more indication that this gang, Tren de Aragua, is fortifying, increasing its numbers, and therefore getting more bold. Law enforcement, even in sanctuary cities like Chicago, knows it and knows the gang poses a threat. This officer's safety alert went out to the rank and file in Chicago police over the summer. The intel generating the alert appears to have started with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, but it warned Chicago officers. It has been reported by multiple sources that members from the transnational criminal organization Tren de Aragua have been given a green light to fire upon or attack law enforcement personnel in Denver, Colorado. But in Chicago, officers are urged to use caution and tactical awareness when encountering someone who may have TDA affiliation. The Trump-affiliated think tank, America First Legal, found the alert as part of a dive they're doing into law enforcement documents.
Looks like from the latest DHS reports that they're in at least 16 U.S. states, right? And, based on FBI's own National Gang Intelligence Center, there's thousands of them all across the Western Hemisphere.
Now, it was the Biden administration that designated TDA a transnational criminal gang. Started in a Venezuelan prison, presence of this gang has popped up in 16 states, notably Texas, California, Illinois, and Florida. And some of the information dug up in those documents by America First Legal says Tren de Aragua graffiti has now been popping up in Chicago's glitzy shopping district, the Magnificent Mile, right behind me here. Griff?
That will be interesting. And Mike, ICE officials tell me that the Tren de Aragua gang members are harder to detect than, say, MS-13. Great reporting. Mike Tobin, live for us in Chicago. Yeah. Mike, thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.